What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Action Sunday. So for the last 2 weeks here in the den, I want to talk about some long overdue movies, or some movies that I really wanted to talk about, okay? But I will get back to reviewing your requests, okay, at a later date. Hopefully, maybe once it gets settled. But anyway, let's get down to business, okay? One of these is today's movie, and that is the 2002 remake of Rollerball. Now, I'm going to admit this something right now. I saw this movie in theaters when I was 13. I rewatched it again many years later. Then I rewatched it again the other night, just for the sake of this video. Okay, and I'm not gonna lie, this movie has not aged, and a lot of people have said this is possibly one of the worst movies of the early 2000s, and I kind of agree, okay? Now, for those of you that are not familiar with Rollerball, it is based on a classic movie from 1979, I believe, 1975, one of those, starring the late James Caan. Now, I'm going to tell you guys the differences between these two productions. Okay, both these movies they center around this fictional, newly futuristic sport called rollerball. It's like there's a whole lore and a whole bunch of rules, and the focus primarily is on the main hero, Jonathan E. or in the original. But however, his last name was changed to Cross in the 2002 remake. Now I know what you're thinking. Like, why the change? Well, I felt like it was for the better. Now, what is this guy? Now, it's pretty much the whole thing just revolves around them. It's like both these guys, they love the sport, they love what they do, but ultimately they realize that there's things that happen behind the scenes. It's like essentially this, what they're doing could be a matter of life and death kind of thing. It's one of those kind of movies. Well, here's where both these movies differ, is that the original 70s version kind of focused more on the political and social overtones, the dystopian future and all that crazy shit. And I really hate that kind of shit, okay? Focus on the actual sport itself, the quote unquote. And that, to me, that's what made the 2002 remake better, because they focused more on the sport aspect of it and not some of the overtones that they focused on in the original movie. Well, here's the thing. While the original movie was slow paced and plodding a little bit, here I felt like I was just thrown into like a breakneck speed race. And I remember seeing this in the theaters. I was like, oh my god, how crazy is this? And of course, again, I think they were trying to appeal to that demographic at the time, which was the X game kind of thing, which I feel like was a perfect time to do it. Okay, which I'm gonna agree with that. But everything else just fell flat. Like, all these character developments are terrible. And not to mention, I'm going to say this right now, James Caan is a better hero playing the main hero in the first Rollerball than Chris Klein, because I can't pull myself away. Come on. This is Chris Klein. This is the guy that was in fucking American Pie. All of them. I mean, and of course, you can't take him serious. It's like he was just there. I just look at him and be like, I'm expecting him to say some kind of joke, and man, was I wrong? But of course, again, that was the kind of culture. But yeah, it was just really pathetic, and just how they did that. All right. But now it's focused on the draw, the whole sport aspect of the movie. So Rollerball, essentially, it's kind of like a extreme version of roller derby mixed in with some kind of X game factors. There's dirt bikes, excite bikes. There's that kind of shit, and the arena is pretty interesting. Now the rules, it's kind of like hockey. It's like, okay, you got to take into their territory. You got to score it in their goal in order to get points. And of course there's penalties, and essentially that kind of thing. And well, that's the gist of all this. There's more to that. And of course the movie does it. The 02 version makes good work of explaining the rules to the audience. I'm like, because believe it or not, all that goes out the window later on in the movie. Okay, so yeah, it's interesting. I get the appeal, but yeah, it was just a weird ass kind of game. But damn, it was I will admit those stunts and dunts were just absolutely insane. They just had me on the edge of my seat. Well, some of them, and then all the brutal hits. I'm like, damn. I'm like, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, this was a PG-13 movie. I'm like, this felt more like an R-rated because there was a lot of nudity, a lot of blood. I think to my opinion, but I understand there's an R-rated version somewhere out there. But I watched it on Tubi, so yeah, go figure. All right, I don't know. Like, there's just something about this that just kind of felt flat. I felt like they hyped this movie up too much. They went so far as to have the three main heroes, Chris Klein, LL Cool J, and Rebecca Romijn appear on an episode of WWE SmackDown to promote the movie. That's how far they went, just to get butts and seats. There's another reason why. Because one, Paul Heyman plays the commentator guy, and number two, Shane McMahon has a walk-on cameo where he doesn't say anything. He just shows up, and it's like, okay, you got a quick shot of him. He just shrugs. He had this weird lost in the shadows face kind of thing. You know what I mean? Weird look, and I'm like, man, that's all he's got to do. I'm like, wow. But I will admit, some of the cast decisions were interesting. Like, seeing Jean Reno play the villain, I was like, wow. I'm like, apples don't fall far from the tree. And funny enough, I felt like this movie was around the time where Jean Reno was really starting to make bank at the box office. Between that, yeah, we on the professional a year or two before this, I was like, wow, he was definitely that was his peak Jean Reno. I'm gonna repeat that. Not much else I can say. Again, compare and contrast to the original, it's like, damn, it makes the original look good, all right? I'm not going to lie. After a repeat viewing, I'm like, there's just moments that make me just say, yeah, this definitely was trying to appeal for a certain audience, which is very small at the time. Of course, here's the thing. The X Games are cool. This was like X Games on steroids, but again, story and substance-wise, it just fell flat. And again, I just couldn't tear my eyes away from how bad it was, like watching a train wreck. All right, but but I will admit there's two good shining moments in this movie, and that is seeing LL Cool J being a total badass, and Rebecca Romijn, she was spoken. That's it. Just the eye candy and just LL Cool J just trying to carry the story and just carrying the movie. So that's all that this movie had going for it. All right. But everything else, this was a flop. It really did bomb. It only made $25 million and a $40 million budget. That's bad, really bad. But now how I feel like watching it again years later, it still doesn't hold up. But yeah, I feel like if they just waited, if they could have just made it much better, and I feel like if John McTiernan just listened to the fucking MGM, he could have made it hell of a lot better and not get in trouble. All right, I could go into into more of the details behind John McTiernan. Apparently, there's a big controversy behind this, but if you want one more of that, go look it up. And with that in mind, I'm going to give the Rollerball 2002 version, I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 10. That's as good as I'm going to get, okay? Again, I wanted to rate it higher. I wanted to give it a 3, but this just stunk to high heaven. But is it good for a laugh? You could say you could just watch just for laughs, but the action not is so. Plot, nothing too special. And not much else I'm going to say about it, all right? So I'd say view at your own warning if you want to give it a watch. It is available on Tubi and Freevee. So, that's just for today. Let me know what you think. Thumbs up the video, subscribe my channel, and stay tuned for some more awesome and exciting videos.